Saturday, there was an article that came out that where there's just some leaks from inside the Jaguars organization where some of the assistant coaches are bothered by the fact that in a coaches meeting, Urban Meyer read through his resume about how much he's won and then challenged assistant coaches to tell them where he's won because they haven't been good enough. In other words, all I've done is won and you mooks have lost. And so the problem's got to be with you, not with me. It's not just that the Jacksonville Jaguars have had one winning season since starting in 2008. One winning season. One winning season in the last 14 years. One. It's that they had one 500 season. One season was one game below 500, 7-9 in 2009. And other than that, they haven't won more than 6 games. They have been the laughing stock of the National Football League. So when I hear this, and I totally understand that Urban Meyer, even if he wasn't a true college guy, when you're a college guy, you come in as a college guy reputation. That's a really hard one to shake. It just is. Because college guys, especially super successful ones, carry with them an ego because in college, it's all about the coach. It's all about the coach. Think about it. Right? Michigan beat Ohio State, finally. But what it's about Jim Harbaugh finally beat Ohio State. Like, Jim Harbaugh didn't take a snap. Jim Harbaugh doesn't call the plays anymore. Brian Kelly, that's one of the things Brian Kelly is trying to show in moving to LSU. Brian Kelly resurrected Notre Dame's football program. Right? USC, do they have as good a players as they used to have? No. But who caught the ear of USC fans? The coaching staff. In college, it's completely about the coach, even when it's not really about the coach. In the NFL, it's different. So the accusations have come loud and from all different angles within that organization that he doesn't treat them like men. He's arrogant. He doesn't think anyone else is working as hard or knows as much, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the running question is, will Shad Khan call it before the year ends or at the end of year one? My guess, though, is that Shad Khan doesn't call it at all. And though it appears to be very, very difficult to see this thing turning around, this is what first years look like. This is what complete rebuilds look like. And this year was going to be and is going to be unbelievably difficult, but that's how you figure out who's going to make it. Right? If you come through this type of supreme adversity, 1 win last year, 2 wins this year, getting embarrassed. I've said this before. Like, first of all, half the players in that locker room were already there before he got there. Those guys know their time is likely coming to an end. And if they feel like the coaching staff, or more importantly, Urban Meyer doesn't like them, they're going to lash out because they know that that's who determines whether or not they stay or leave. I think the same is true with the coaching staff. There are some of those guys are loyal to him and have worked with him before. Charlie Strong's a perfect example. But the NFL guys that, were recommended to him, that he hired, this is a year of, hey, you got to prove it to me. Everyone in that locker room and in those coaching has to prove to him that you can survive the first year. This happened with Gruden when he came back. This is what happens when you try and bring in and reestablish discipline. And honestly, that's the thing that's killing Urban Meyer the worst is not the football decisions. It was what happened in the bar in Ohio, not catching the team playing, getting hammered, flirting with a chick, like all of that stuff. All that stuff hurts all the other messaging. The football things, like those will work out. I love how people are critical of Urban Meyer and like, what did you expect to happen? A guy comes in with a completely different way of doing things. Did you think everybody was going to go, sure, Urban, we'll do it that way? No. And the ones that push back too much and they're not good enough, they'll be gone. Coaches, players, doesn't matter. I don't know. To me, it's what it looks like. It's like if you've ever gone to somebody's house and they're like, okay, we're going to do, we thought about just a little quick remodel and then, we opened up some walls and like, yeah, it's a mess. And then you go in and you're like, oh my God, this project is way bigger than I thought. That's what happens when you buy a house, right? You buy a house, you do an inspection, or maybe buy a house and they don't want to do an inspection, take it as is, you're going to redo it anyway. Then you open up a wall and you realize how poorly constructed the house actually is. Like, God, now we got to put up new beams, new wiring, new everything. That's where they are with Jacksonville. New everything. New everything. And my guess is that Shad Khan probably had a meeting with Urban Meyer. And Urban Meyer, I'm guessing, said to him, like, look, this could be really, really bad for a year or two. And then it gets better. It just takes time. And though Urban hasn't been successful yet at the NFL level, he's a smart enough football guy to learn from this year, learn from his hires, the good ones and the bad ones, hire people that know what he doesn't know. And now and a lot of times you don't know what you don't know. If you haven't been in the league ever, or for the last 20 years, you sure as hell don't know how the league actually works from just watching it on TV. It's completely different. And honestly, the Ohio bar thing is the example of that. In college, you can stay behind. You can see family if you're on the road because you go back and everybody's got a day off the next day. In the pros, you can't do that. You got to get back and get right in the office and get to work on the next opponent, even if you play on a Thursday night. This is a year of learning and a year of evaluating for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you can survive that first year to year two, it almost always turns in year two. Zach Taylor's a perfect example. Go and look at articles about Zach Taylor in the offseason, going back to Zach Taylor last year, and I will grant you, it's a completely different resume than that of Urban Meyer. Where Zach Taylor came in, they're like, he called plays for 1 year in Nashville. How does it work? We're not sure. Last year, there was kind of a coup d'etat, right? There was guys that are pushing back against the coaching staff. Did this guy know what he's doing? And what they quietly did was they got rid of some of those guys in the offseason. Joe Burrow, coming off an injury, once he started playing, was immediately better. They added Jamar Chase. All that building and all of the changing seems to have worked. Granted, it didn't work yesterday, but they're so depleted by injuries, I don't think anybody's going to compete with that team they're throwing out there. My take is really simple on Urban Meyer. I don't know if it works, but I also don't think you know if it works during this short period of time. Give it time. Give it time.